Well, Sanjay, in the beginning, there were a lot of, probably misunderstandings between the parties where DMDK was very upset with the AIDMK releasing its list without even consulting them. And they were also very upset with the fact that the AIDMK was not willing to give in during the talks, which is why so many of these, at least AIDMK's allies, split up. And with the DMK in Congress, they started blaming each other during the poll debacle in May, which is why they split up. So now this is really basically a testing of waters. In fact, when we asked so many political parties if this trend is likely to continue, they said that this splitting of allies is only for the local body elections. In fact, they were very, very clear on that, because parties like the DMDK and the CPI, CPM know the importance of being close to the AIDMK. So they're very, very clear that this split in allies and even the whole misunderstanding on the breaking down of talks is concerning only the local body polls, and this the alliance as such does not split at all.
What about the DMK and the Congress? The Congress was left to the Hobson's choice because the DMK unilaterally announced that they would go it alone in the election.
Yes, even that, Sanjay, when we spoke to Kalaignar Karunanidhi, he was also very, very clear that his relationship and the DMK's relationship with the Congress does not change. This split in alliance for the local body polls does not change at all. And they said that this was a completely unilateral decision. They do want to see how well they're going to do in the local body elections without the Congress allies. So as of now, they're very, very clear that their relationship with the Congress in the assembly and in the centre continues, and they're saying that this has no bearing at all on the relationship in the centre. So definitely this is something that they're just testing the political waters, probably testing the vote bank just 5 months after the assembly elections to see whether, it could have been better. This is just an option they're probably trying out.
All right. Our marriage is still intact, but we just didn't invite you to this party here. Pratisha, one final question to you, the voter turnout. 48%, way below what we witnessed just 6 months ago during the assembly election. Again, just to quote the 2006 figures, 55% polling in 2006. I'm talking about the civic body poll. And of course, in 2001, it was a record 36% only. So what would you attribute this to? And usually, conventional wisdom dictates that a low voter turnout means not much anti-incumbency. So does this actually mean, what are political pundits telling you? What are voters probably, how are they reading this? Are they looking at it as perhaps advantage AIDMK, the fact that you had low voter turnout, or was it just an extended weekend and therefore people didn't really feel like going out to vote, or was it those sporadic reports of violence that kept people away?
Well, Sanjay, from what we have spoken to the voters, there seem to be two factors. First of all, they always assumed it to be advantage AIDMK. There was always a sense that usually the ruling party always wins. So what are we going to do? Are we really going to be able to bring about a change? And how should we contribute to it when anyway they're going to win? So that was an attitude that we saw predominantly among a lot of voters. First of all, they felt better voting for the party in power. And second of all, they almost took it for granted that it is going to go that way, where the ruling party usually wins the local body polls. So that was one factor that probably did not see too many enthusiastic people come out to vote. And another incident is usually the voting numbers usually grow between 2 to 5 in the evening. And by then there were already too many incidents of violence in Chennai. Almost 4 incidents of violence were already telecast and known by a lot of voters, which probably made them keep back. But even very, very safe polls like Stella Maris and places like Gopalpuram and Saidapet saw an unfortunately low voter turnout. While the voters say that they just wanted to come out and vote, they probably don't know why the others are not willing to do that. The candidates seem a little perturbed, while Sairat Doraisamy really brushed it off, saying it's not something he's worried about and it's not at that low a turnout that we should be panicking. Other candidates like Sharat Babu definitely seem perturbed by it. They do want people to come out because it is these blank votes that are usually misused by people. Sanjay?
All right, we have a story on that also coming up in the bulletin. Thank you very much, Pratiksha, for your analysis. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, the civic poll in Chennai was marred by a few incidents of violence. As Sanjay rightly said, a few booths were ransacked by unidentified groups. Now, some EVMs were damaged and a couple of clashes were also witnessed between parties. Our crime reporter Salim tracked some of these ugly scenes.
So in simple, they were standing mute spectator to what was happening here.
They are just telling not to do it. Then they try to inform, but they stop them. You don't do like that. They just push them out. Policemen also.
A booth inside the RBI quarters in Kilpauk. Eyewitness accounts reveal that an unidentified gang stormed into this booth, asking the polling staff to leave and allegedly started casting bogus votes. When the electronic voting machines didn't quite register the frenzied operation, sources say the gang damaged it in a fit of rage.
We called the police, so policemen told, you just come out, you can't do it, you just come out. So they started polling. So just about 10 minutes they are doing, immediately another mob came and they started damaging.
Telltale signs of violence at other places. Outside a few booths, sources claim even women were not spared. A DMK worker was injured in an incident and has been hospitalized. A DMDK partyman was also hurt in a scuffle. A PMK worker was also beaten up in the melee. The opposition parties say they will go to court.
பல இடங்களிலே உயர்நீதிமன்ற உத்தரவின்படி கேமராக்கள் பொருத்தப்படவில்லை, போதிய காவல்துறை பாதுகாப்பில்லை. நான் வாக்களித்த அந்த வாக்குச்சாவடியிலே ஒரே ஒரு காவல்காரர் மட்டுமே இருந்தார். அதேபோல காலையிலேயே வார்டு எண் 5 திருவொற்றியூரிலே ஆளுங்கட்சியினர் ஒரு குழுவாக சென்று அங்கே ஒரு கலவரம் ஏற்படுத்த முயற்சி செய்தார்கள்.
80லிருந்து 85% எந்த வாக்குச்சாவடிகளிலும் கேமராக்கள் அங்கே பொருத்தப்படவில்லை. எங்கோ சில இடங்களில் பொருத்தப்பட்டிருந்தாலும் அவைகளும் முறையாக பதிவு செய்யப்படவில்லை என்ற செய்திகள் தான் எங்களுக்கு வந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறது. அது மட்டுமல்ல, ஒவ்வொரு வாக்குச்சாவடியிலும் பெயருக்கு 2-3 காவலர்கள் தான் இருக்கிறார்கள் தவிர பலத்த போலீஸ் பாதைகள் போடப்படவில்லை என்ற செய்தி வந்திருக்கிறது. அது மட்டுமல்ல, அதிமுகவை சார்ந்தவர்கள் போலீஸ் துணையோடு சில ரவுடிகளை துணைக்கி வைத்துக்கொண்டு குறிப்பிட்ட சில வாக்குச்சாவடிகளை கைப்பற்றி இருக்கிறார்கள் என்ற செய்தி வந்திருக்கிறது. எனவே இதையெல்லாம் நாங்கள் ஒட்டுமொத்தமாக சேகரித்து எங்களுடைய வழக்கறிஞர்கள் மட்டுமல்ல, பல்வேறு கட்சியுடைய வழக்கறிஞர்கள் தலைமை நீதிபதியை நேரடியாக ஒரு இல்லத்திலே சந்தித்து இந்த பிரச்சனைகள் எல்லாம் குறிப்பிட்டு சொல்லியிருக்கிறார்.
The violence that marred this civic polls has left many wondering just what happened to the 12,000 strong police force that was to be deployed. In Chennai with Salim, this is Dipti Kumar for NDTV Hindu.
And our crime reporter Salim joins us from our studio in the Hindu office. Salim, thank you for staying with us. Now, just to take off from that last sentence in your story, where were all these 12,000 odd policemen who were supposed to have been drafted on election duty? There were also supposed to be 3 companies from the Maharashtra police. We also know that 1,905 polling booths were classified as sensitive. We also know that there were more than 1,000 antisocial elements who were probably taken into preventive custody. So where did these troublemakers suddenly land from, and what happened to that massive police deployment that was promised?
Of course, there were many more left to be arrested, it seems, Sanjay, because when contacted for reaction, the Additional Commissioner of Police, Law and Order, Chennai City, Mr. Thamaraikannan, said that they are taking stock of the situation. They do know that in more than a dozen cases of violence have been reported in the Chennai city, and they say that they are taking stock of the situation, and accordingly they will register a case and will take action. When asked about the Kirpok incident, where the polling booths have been ransacked by an unidentified mob, and when asked whether any departmental action will be initiated against the policemen and women who are on duty, who are merely mute spectators to what was happening, Mr. Thamaraikannan said that they are analyzing, they are taking stock of the situation, and they have just received a complaint from the polling officer, and accordingly they will inquire, they will initiate a departmental inquiry, and accordingly action will be taken. In general, the South Joint Commissioner says that they have registered, they will be registering 2 cases. One from the DMK partyman and the other from the ADMK partyman. The East Zone Joint Commissioner says that they have registered 2 cases, one from the Kirpok polling booth officer and other from a DMDK partyman from Veperi. The North Joint Commissioner is out of reach, whereas the West Zone Joint Commissioner of Police says that they will be registering 1 case from Puliyandop district. Sanjay?
All right, Salim, any arrests have been made so far based on these complaints?
So far, no arrests have been made, Sanjay. In fact, the police say that they are investigating the case, and only after a primary case is made out, the police say they will register the case, and accordingly they will arrest the accused persons who are involved in the case.
All right, Salim, also have the cameras managed to capture any visuals of the violence of this unidentified gang that is supposed to have barged into a polling booth?
As far as the sources from the Kirpok police station is concerned, they say that they don't have any picture of the unidentified mob who ventured into the polling booth in Kirpok.
All right. Salim, thank you very much for giving us all those updates. It's time to now slide into a short break on the battle for Chennai. But when we come back, we'll be joined by Saide Doraiswamy and Nandita Krishna. Stay tuned.